So last week I went 8-6. I guess it's a little better than 8-7. I had a couple of things go haywire. I don't know why the hell I picked the Houston Texans to win. That was kind of dumb. And the Jets beating the Falcons, yes, that was a little bit of a surprise to me, especially in Atlanta. So season to date, through the 4 weeks that I've actually picked games, I'm 38-22. Percentage was like 633. So not bad, but I want to do better. Hopefully week 6, I'll start to do just a little bit better. So let me talk about some of the featured matchups for this week number 6 of the 2013 NFL season. The Thursday night matchup features the 0-5 New York Giants taking their sorry, hapless asses to Soldier Field to play my slumping, struggling 3-2 Chicago Bears. When it comes to picking this game, yeah, I'm going to pick the Bears because I'm relatively confident at this point that they're the better team compared to the New York Giants. The Giants, to me, they're a team of can'ts. Eli Manning can't stop turning the ball over. The New York Giants offense can't run the ball. And their defense really can't stop any damn body from scoring a shit ton of points against them. The Bears, they haven't looked that good to me the last 2 weeks, but they're a little bit of a better team. I would expect Cutler to be able to exploit the Giants' vulnerable secondary, being able to throw to Marshall and the surprisingly somewhat emerging Alshon Jeffrey. I expect they'll struggle to match up against Martellus Bennett, and they'll struggle to stop Matt Forte. The bottom line is, if the Bears don't win this game by 10 to 14 points, then it's still an indication that this Bears team has a long way to go before being considered really good in the NFC. 2 early Sunday afternoon matchups I've got my eye on involve some NFC North teams, yes, but the 2-2 Green Bay Packers travel to Baltimore to take on the defending Super Bowl champs, the 3-2 Ravens. I look at this matchup, and this here seems like a game that is ripe for the picking for the Green Bay Packers. They came off of their bye week. They looked strong against Detroit. They were very strong in particular on the defensive side of the football, even though they're still not a very good defensive unit. And the bottom line is, at this point, even though they're playing in Baltimore, I don't think that makes Baltimore unbeatable by any stretch of the imagination. And Joe Flacco definitely hasn't been great the past couple of weeks. In a head-to-head matchup, I'll pick Aaron Rodgers over Joe Flacco, and that's just the way it is. The Detroit Lions at 3-2 traveling to Cleveland to take on the equally surprising 3-2 Cleveland Browns. The big question for the Lions going into this Week 6 matchup, is going to be the health of Calvin Johnson, whether or not he's going to be able to play. Because you saw last week against the Packers, if the Lions don't have Calvin Johnson in there, they really have nothing in the passing game offensively. Stafford really doesn't have much to throw to at all. And that's sad. That shows you just how important Calvin Johnson is to his Detroit Lions offense and football team as a whole. And you look at the Cleveland Browns. They've won 3 straight games, so they're feeling pretty good about themselves, as they should at this point. However, Hoyer's out for the year now. Brandon Whedon's taken over. And yes, he did play well in the second half against Buffalo Bills this past Thursday night. But the fact of the matter remains is, Brandon Whedon wasn't going to get his job back, except for the fact that Brian Hoyer got hurt. Whedon still isn't that good. I'll take, again, the better quarterbacks. I'll take Matthew Stafford and his Detroit Lions to go into Cleveland, into the dog pound, and beat the Cleveland Browns. In the second set of Sunday afternoon games, the only game to me that really bears watching is the game of the week, which has to be the New Orleans Saints at 5-0, traveling to New England to take on the 4-1 Patriots. Drew Brees versus Tom Brady. If you love the NFL of today, and you love offensive football, and you love great quarterback play, you're going to get a lot of it in this game. For the New Orleans Saints, are rolling right now. The last 2 weeks, they've beaten a 3-2 Miami team at home, and then they went on the road last Sunday and beat the Bears at Soldier Field. So they've beaten some quality teams now. The Saints are clicking. They look, great offensively. They're getting contributions from a whole bunch of different people. But the real surprise to me is the New Orleans Saints defense. This defense is actually doing a good job of containing people and limiting their production offensively. And that's all you really need from the Saints defense when you have Drew Brees in that high-powered Saints passing attack, led by Brees and, of course, his stud tight end, maybe the best in the game, in Jimmy Graham. For the Patriots, it looks like they may finally get Gronk back this week. Might have Amendola healthier this week. This is going to be a fun game to watch. I can't wait to watch it. I am going to pick the Patriots to win because I think even though the Saints have looked impressive, they're 5-0, Foxborough is still a tough place to play, and I'll take Tom Brady in his offense with Gronk returning over Drew Brees, in part because I think the Patriots are a little bit of a better balanced attack offensively. They're a little bit better running the ball than the Saints are. The Saints at times can still tend to trend to be a little bit one-dimensional. So give me the Patriots at home in Week 6 over the Saints. I said it last week in my Week 5 picks video that it would not surprise me at all to see the Dallas Cowboys outplay the Denver Broncos, stick in the whole game with them, have a chance to win, and then find a way to piss it down their legs and lose. Because that's what the Cowboys do. And that's exactly what they did in Week 5 against Denver. Romo outplayed Peyton Manning, to which that really can't be argued. The Cowboys hung with them the whole game, had a chance to win, and then they found a way to piss it down their legs late. This is what the Cowboys do. So now following this formula, you're looking at the Sunday night game. The Washington Redskins at 1-3 coming off of a bye, not looking very good at all this year, going to Dallas to take on the 2-3 Cowboys. God, the NFC East is god-awful. I would not be surprised at this point if 7 wins actually won that division. Maybe more likely 8, but 7 for the division champion would not surprise me all that much. In sticking to the tried and true Cowboy formula, now they lost to the Chargers, a team they probably should have beat. Then the next week, they play like world beaters for 58 minutes of the game against one of the 2 best teams in the NFL in the Denver Broncos. So now this week, that means they're probably going to get beat by RG3 and the Washington Redskins at home. So that's why I'm picking the Washington Redskins. The Cowboys, for as impressive as their offense was last week, their defense sure as hell couldn't stop the Denver Broncos. And RG3, while he hasn't been a world beater so far, he's still put up some pretty good fantasy numbers at least. So I would have some confidence that the Washington Redskins are going to be able to move the ball offensively, both in the air and on the ground against this Dallas Cowboys defense. And, it's just a simple matter of following the formula with the Cowboys at this point. They lost to the Chargers, a game they should have won. Then they almost won a game they had no business winning, and then they found a way to lose it. So now I think, even though they're going to be favored, they're at home, I think they're going to lose to the Redskins in week number 6. Your Monday night matchup this week, Andrew Luck and the 4-1 Indianapolis Colts traveling to San Diego to take on Phillip Rivers and the 2-3 Chargers. The Colts are playing really good football right now. They're one of the 5 best teams in the NFL. I think you can make that strong argument at this point in time. They beat some quality opponents. They trounced San Francisco at San Francisco. They beat Seattle at home this past week. Their one loss this year was to a 3-2 Dolphins team. There's a lot to like about this Indianapolis Colts team. Their defense is playing a little bit better than you may have expected, and they definitely got some weapons in the passing game with old tried and true Reggie Wayne and an emerging stud in T.Y. Hilton. If they could get more consistency or any production of Darius Hayward-Bay, Colby Fleener, imagine how much better the Colts passing game could be for Andrew Luck. And imagine if Trent Richardson actually plays to the talent level that he's supposed to have, that he's alleged to have. The Colts could be very scary throughout the rest of this 2013 season. You look at the San Diego Chargers right now, they're 2-3. They have the look of a mediocre football team, but they also have the look with Phillip Rivers and some of the weapons that I feel he does have in the passing game with, good old tried and true Hall of Famer Antonio Gates and an emerging Vincent Brown and Keenan Allen. He's got something to work with in the passing game. It looks like Ryan Matthews, if he does play in Week 6, which I doubt, he won't be very effective. So Woodhead's going to get a lot of opportunities out of the backfield, especially as a pass catcher, which might help the Chargers offense even more. The bottom line is it's tough to win road games in the NFL no matter who you play. And the Colts are very hot right now. But I look at this game right now, and I think the San Diego Chargers can beat the Indianapolis Colts. I think the Colts are due for a little bit of a bad game. So I'll take the Chargers to win on Monday night. Feel free, by all means, to chime in with your picks in this week's games down below. The games that I didn't talk about, those picks, along with the ones I talked about here, are all in the description box down below as well. We'll see how I did this week, I guess.